And we're back. I've fallen in love with making YouTube videos again and helping people in the best way that I can, in the best way that I know how to. I think we sometimes as entrepreneurs go through this weird phase of trying to figure out who we are and what we want to do. Unless you're one of the very lucky few who know from the very jump what it is that you want to do and you just go for it, I applaud you and I admire you. However, for majority of the entrepreneurs out there, it's more of like a roller coaster, as I spoke about in a previous video. And it may start off one way, and then just because of the nature of who we are, it could very well go in so many different directions. But the point of this video is just to encourage you to continue showing up, even if you aren't really sure how to define what it is that you're doing, or if you're unsure of whether or not what you're doing is going to be something that you're going to be doing long term, or if it's something that you truly are passionate about. Those sort of questions will come with time. The most important thing is that you just keep showing up. And I think a lot of the times this is what makes or breaks an entrepreneur, is the fact that we often give up when things don't seem to be going right, or when we feel as though we no longer are interested in the idea that we once were pursuing. And that's okay, because in this space, it's ever evolving. It's like art, like I like to say, art is so different day to day. What one artist produces today may be very different from what they decide to produce tomorrow. However, the essence of that artist will always be within whatever artwork they decide to do. This is why a lot of the times we see people are very talented in multiple aspects, because they have decided not to put themselves in a box, essentially. And that is what we have to do as entrepreneurs. The moment that we put ourselves into a box, we limit what our potential is, what we could do. We limit the possibilities of different avenues that we can take to get to where we want to go. When you keep showing up, when you keep pushing through, you'll find inspiration, you'll find different ideas that you may not have had before. You'll begin to experience synchronicities that show you that you're on the right path, or will align you on the right path. What do I mean by continuing to show up? What I mean is, every day there's something that we can be doing to progress towards our goals and our dreams. This looks like waking up and making that video that you've been resisting to make for a long time. This looks like posting on social media, even though you may not like social media. This looks like promoting yourself and your business, even if you feel as though you aren't qualified to do that. This looks like doing research and looking into different tools and ways that you can help grow your business. This looks like investing in things that you know will help your business grow, but you've been hesitant because you're unsure of where you're going to get the money from or how you're going to make the money back. You have to not only show up for yourself, but you have to believe that you have what it takes to make this work. And the beauty of it is that if it doesn't work the first time, you've learned a lesson. And to me, a lesson gets you one step closer to the right way. I've seen so many people, including myself, get caught up in the what ifs, or I'm not good enough, or someone else has already done it, so I don't need to do it. That sort of thinking, those sort of thought patterns is what keeps us stuck as entrepreneurs. So by us showing up every single day in some form or fashion, that especially in a way that we feel the most resistance towards, once we begin to push through those barriers, push through those blockages, it'll become a form of habit, and it'll also become a part of our nature. So we will no longer be resisting the very thing that we should be doing, the very thing that will get us from our current situation to where we want to be. Especially as entrepreneurs or as artists, we have to continue to do and put in the work and to show up even when it makes us uncomfortable. I am a very good example of this, because this is something that I actually live by now, is even when I don't feel like doing something, but all of the situation, all of the circumstances are right for me to do it, I know that this is essentially myself telling me that, oh no, like this is making us uncomfortable. We want to stay safe. So let's not do this thing that's going to make us feel uncomfortable. But it's because I've been so used to just doing what I feel comfortable that anytime I try to do anything else, it just feels weird. But this is the thing. If we continue to do what's comfortable, we'll stay in a very comfortable position and we'll never change. And I'm not saying, if you're sick, get up and make a video anyway. That's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is when all of the circumstances are right, when you look good, when you have the right lighting, when you have the camera, when you have the mic, when you have the time and the freedom and you have nothing else going on, but there's just one thing that's telling you like, oh no, I don't want to do this. That's probably when you should be doing it, because what I find is that once you break through that barrier, some beautiful things begin to happen. You create things you never thought you were capable of doing. You find inspiration, and just by you doing, even if you don't post it, for example, if we're just talking about a video, even if you don't post it, the fact that you did it is everything. And that's just one step closer to getting you where you want to be. Another way that I would say has been really prevalent in my life is when business seems to be hard or when things don't seem to be flourishing, is not giving up. It's just keep on going and knowing and trusting that everything you do, all the effort that you're putting in will pay off, and it just takes patience and perseverance. That brings me to another point. I think a lot of people in this space are looking to get rich quick, and that is what this lifestyle tends to sell. This niche in particular tends to sell that whole mentality of getting rich quick. But true entrepreneurship is not getting rich quick, I promise you, because as quickly as you made it is as quickly as you can lose it. And if you work on building solid foundations, and if you work on yourself, if you work on showing up every single day, if anything were to happen, you know exactly how to do it again. And to me, that is what makes a really great entrepreneur, is someone who has stuck through the thick and the thin, has built their business from the ground up, or at least was taught how to do so, and has put in the work and the time to really build a business that's built on something real and not some get rich quick scheme or scam, whatever the case is. So if you're looking to get rich quick, just know that this is not the place for you to do that. One YouTuber that I like to watch occasionally talks about the monkey brain, or, people who are after that dopamine hit over and over and over again. Those are the people who tend to latch on to the next best thing and typically don't stick with things long enough in order to see it through. And so they'll constantly be chasing after the next best thing. There's a difference between learning something and executing it and sticking with it and automating it. There's a difference between that and just jumping from ship to ship, essentially. My whole thing is about, finding a business, growing it, automating it so that you can invest in other areas and invest your time and freedom in other places. However, showing up for yourself means sticking in there for the long haul, persevering, and doing things when you feel uncomfortable. To wrap this up, I just want to say the best thing for you to do when you feel like, that resistance and you know that you need to show up for yourself is to create some sort of token or reminder for whenever you feel that way, so that you can read it and you can say, okay, I'm feeling like resisting, but I'm going to do it anyway. For me, I like to put a lot of reminders on my wallpapers, or I journal a lot. So when I feel like I am avoiding something, I tend to write about it, and then it helps me kind of ease into just doing it. And then once I do it, I feel so much better. There's so many other modalities and tools that you can use to get yourself from that point of resistance to actually doing something. So I encourage you to start doing some research and finding out what works best for you, because at the end of the day, we're all very unique individuals, and what works for me may not work for someone else. So this is the whole point of, understanding who you are so that you can be a better business person, a better entrepreneur. This is necessary, so I would get started right away, and there are so many tools here on YouTube for you to help you figure it out. And I wish you the best on your journey. Also, feel free to leave a comment down below for any suggestions or questions on how you can help push through moments of resistance.